Alright, hello Warhammer 40k and Lord of the Rings fans. I'm bringing you a very special battle today. Special and very emphasized. Alright, to start off we have the Space Marine army teamed up with the Lord of the Rings Orcs that you can see here.
Where'd you put the other red dot?
Against the IG, the Warhammer 40k Orcs, and the men of the Lord of the Rings and some elves.
You might be wondering why we put the Orcs in the Space Marines instead of the Orcs with the Orcs. Well, it's because I had more men than I did Orcs, so it just made more sense that way.
It evened out the point values. This is a
1700. Oh yeah,
16-20 point battle. Very close to Apocalypse.
Not really.
But not really. It should be a pretty odd game because the rules kind of collide a little bit here and there, but we'll get back to you at the end of round one, see how that works out. Alright, it's the end of round one. As usual, nothing died because we have a huge table. So tanks fired some shots and rocket launcher did, and yeah, that was it, dude. Yeah, so this round should be a lot more bloody, but it takes ridiculously long for us to move all of these guys up, especially me, because I've got all of these men. Like, I tried to do runs, and it wasn't worth it, because...
He's got the runs.
So I moved the Orcs up on a run, but no, not the other guys. So yeah, we'll get back to you at the end of round two. Alright, it's the end of round two. Basically, my Death Cop just killed one Orc guy, and that was about my turn. And just to let you know, we've been firing shots off at each other's tanks and nothing happens, and we're rolling.
We're having terrible rolls.
It's ridiculous. We've had one good roll, and that was a save the entire turn. And then his whirlwind hit right there and took out like 5 men because we decided they don't get saves unless they're a hero. Because heroes have magical powers that allow them to save.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. And regular people would not have a save. I know this is nowhere in the rules, but here are the dead people. Yeah. Alright, so we'll get back to you at the end of round 3. Alright, very, very, very long round that turn. So basically, here's what happened.
40-minute round.
A 40-minute round?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Alright, so what happened was, between moving and close combat, it just took forever. So to start off, we'll start with the shooting. A few shots were fired between all these things. The Death Cop just went down, and then a huge chunk of men went down, but I still have a crap load, so I'm not really concerned.
Like 8 or 9, I think.
So then he decided to throw all of his Orcs into close combat with my Orcs, and guess what? Yeah, real 40k Orcs win. Remember that.
I wounded all the knobs and killed one guy.
Yeah, and then my guys I had 50-something attacks.
And he didn't even need to do an extra 20.
Yeah,
I didn't need 36 rolls, and that killed all of them.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So they're going to go into close combat with Space Marines next round, which would be kind of cool. Over here, we had another close combat. This is why it took so long, because he got all of his reinforcements in, and there's close combat. So they're in close combat with my tank right now. And they're in close combat with my IG right now, and my IG is probably going to die.
I took out both heavy bolters, and it's stunned for next. Or can't do anything next turn.
Yeah. So that sucks. All right, we'll get back to you at the end of round 4, which will probably be another 40-minute round because there's going to be a lot more close combat. All right, see you then. All right, another 40-minute round. Funny round. All right, we're going to start off with my victories over here. Great for me. It really was. I killed a lot of Space Marines over here in close combat.
Took the leadership test, fine.
Yeah, he's fine with the leadership test. Alright, over here. No more men, pretty much. They're pretty dead.
Whirlwind went.
Whirlwind is so beast. Alright, now here is the highlight of the game. Ready? Ready? Tank explodes, right? As you may remember, all of my things were in close combat over here, right? So we rolled to see how far the blast would go. We had 11. Everything was hit, and it wiped out, like, everything that I had.
Wiped out, like, 6 or 7 IG, 2 Terminators, and one assault guy.
Yeah.
And then I just killed everybody else with what I had left.
It was ridiculous.
Over here, I moved the assault marines and went to shoot with my plasma pistol, who you can see is not there anymore because he wounded himself and died.
Yeah, so he's dead.
Because he's retarded.
And they're going to try to charge in, but no, I'm not going to let them. Because I'm going to move into close combat next round, so see you at the end of round 5. Alright, so it's the end of the turn, and combined with the collectiveness of the whirlwind and the shooting people, the archers are all dead. Everything is going to be focused around close combat till the end of the turn when everything's or end of the game.
The rest of his guys are here. He has nobody else besides what's there.
This is it. This is all close combat. I'm going to try to take out the Dreadnought. I'm going to try to take out the Rhino, and we are going to try... If I can eliminate the Dread and the Rhino, I can focus my efforts on the guys, and I really would have a great chance at winning, so...
Not really. You got 2 more tanks, and the Terminators, and all those guys, and the Scouts.
Yeah, but if I can get into close combat with them, I, can win. But we'll see, we'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see. But that was a half-an-hour turn on top of 2 40-minute turns. So this is ridiculously huge. Alright.
It's been like 2.5 hours, probably.
Yeah. So I'll get back to you at the end of the round. Alright, it's the 6th turn. And
that turn only took 10 minutes.
It only took 10 minutes, which is amazing. So here's what happened. Orcs did so great. They took out the Dreadnought and the Rhino, which is really great, but he moved in everything
except Scouts.
that he had, except for Scouts, and his tanks, obviously. And everything's dead except for the Orc War Boss and Aragon. So they have the higher initiative, so they can go first, and I can probably eliminate a lot, but this is probably the last turn.
This is the last turn.
Most likely the last.
Each of them can only take 1 more wound, and I have like 20 power attacks, so...
I'd have to get extremely lucky.
Yeah.
Alright, so see you at the end of the turn. It's the end of the turn. That took about 2 minutes. I killed 2 guys with my War Boss and Aragon, but no. Power weapons.
My captain killed him.
Power weapons prevailed. Scouts actually did nothing this entire game, which is disappointing because they spawned here and all the IG.
Yeah, I was planning on just taking out IG if I lost close combat, and then everybody
died because it exploded. All right, so that's the game.
It's pretty sick. It took 2.5 hours, probably, maybe 2 hours 15 minutes.
Wait, what time is it right now? It took it took 2.5 hours. So, beast game. All right, more to come. We got a lot of things.
Maybe another game today. Who knows?
We also got a new website up. It's at Free Webs because we're poor. It's Gold Fists and Blood Angels. So www.freewebs.com/Goldfist and Blood Angels. So that's cool. See you guys next time.